Mizell could really go back to the hole he crawled out of. We're not checking for him. He looked like something might be a little wrong with him anyway. And I don't mean that in no disrespectful way. But return Mizell to sender, please. Ready to love people. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. It is Friday night, so we gotta talk about OWN's Ready to Love, Make a Move. This is season 1, episode 8. All work, no play. Before we get into it, please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Shout out to y'all. I saw it's J-Dub subscribe, so shout out to you. I support your channel as well. I love your content. It's just shout out to all of y'all for supporting the channel. It's a growing channel, so please don't stop now. Continue to support. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode, and share the video where you like to share your videos. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll be cutting up in the Twitter when episodes be on. So at Brandy Yvonne is my Twitter name. Anywho, I was gonna tell y'all something else, so I lost my train of thought. Anywho, let's just get into this episode. Let me know if y'all thought this episode was good. It was so-so. It wasn't really giving a lot, but it wasn't giving too little. It was anywho, let's get to the episode. If y'all see me doing this a lot tonight, it's because I have on a t-shirt that's affiliated with the school I work for, and I don't like to show that school name on camera. So I always try to have like a sweater or something to cover it up, or change my shirt. I'm usually too lazy to change my shirt, so I try to just cover it. So if you see me doing that, that's why, okay? Anywho, let's get into this episode though and get this video over with. So I believe we picked up where we left off with Ashlee and Donald at Donald's house. He made that food, whatever that was. I don't think Ashlee liked it. And he's telling her how he was married before. So she was like, what? You need to tell me what's going on. You know how she do all this. And so he's like, oh yeah, I had to tell you. He said he was 21 years old. She's like, so you had a wedding? He said, nah. They just ran down to the courthouse real quick and got married. He didn't even tell his family. Nobody knew until it was over. He said it only lasted a year. He just did it because they were in love. They didn't have no family witnesses, people they knew, nothing like that. She was like, dang, so you already been married before, so she feels some type of way about that. He said that he kind of was downplaying and mumbling about it, in my opinion. I feel like there's a little more to the story, but whatever. He said the biggest thing he learned about that is that you got to really get to know somebody before you get married. Duh. And I just can't, I know people get married young. My parents got married young. But I can't imagine being married at 21. I just can't. But people do it. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. So she said in her confessional, you know, it was shocking to her. What she learned from it is that he is a hopeless romantic like her, and they both believe in love. And I was like, girl, that's what you got from me? Okay. Although I feel Donald is a better fit than Kirsten was not checking for Ashlee. I don't think Donald and Ashlee should become too much of a thing. Like, it's cool for the show right now. First of all, I think Ashlee needs to go heal somewhere and talk to somebody on their sofa, like we all do. And I don't know, something about him is giving, it's going to end up toxic, especially the way he's talking about all his relationships was getting bad and worse. And Ashlee gives toxic too. I don't know. I see something not gonna work between them. But anywho, I don't really see it for nobody on the show but Cameron and Zadya. And Zadya finna mess that up, or Cameron finna mess it up, or both of them finna mess it up. Anywho, let's move on. So I believe then the ladies are in the house getting ready, and Tamika calls up Sherese because she's like, girl, you ain't had no options. You know, you got played at the last elimination mixer thing with Mizell. So, you know, you were on the blind date with Whitley, but however, I'm gonna set you up with another blind date this week because everybody else is going to the house of their keepers. That's what they were doing this week, right? And so, because, you know, Ashlee went to Donald's house, we're gonna see Verneesha go to Tabari's house, and then we're going to see Zadya go down to Cameron's house, right? So she was like, you know, I want you to be left out, girl, so I'm gonna set you up on a date. So Sherese is happy to be going on a date. So then, and we might go out of order, y'all, so just follow me. So then I believe we did see Zadya go down to Cameron's house. Now I know some of y'all didn't like Zadya's confessional look with the black and the gloves and all the beads and the chains. It was very, very much giving, I'm about to do a Janet Jackson performance, but I liked it, y'all. I love a girl that can really get into the fashions, okay? Now, was it appropriate for that setting? Maybe not. She reminded me of the cast of Young, African, and Famous, because that's how they be dressing in their confessionals. Like, they be going all out. So maybe she was on the wrong show, but I don't care, because I like somebody who will, like, go there with their fashions like that. Like, I was not mad at it, okay? But I know some people were like, it's too much, but I didn't have a problem with it. So anyway, I was like, okay, Zadya, when I first saw it, I liked it. But, I mean, you got to be going somewhere to wear that, though, right? You can't just be sitting down in the confessionals. So, anywho, Zadya tells us on camera that this is the first time she's going to Cameron's house, and she's excited. Producer said, are you sure? She said, yes. I was like, oh, the producers tried it, because they were like, well, where were you when Sherese had to be waking up at 6 in the morning, okay? Don't play with the producers. They already knew, Zadya. They already know your tea, girl. I got my 2 bottles of water this time, y'all, because on that mask review, I was struggling in my throat. But anywho, so Zadya gets to the house. She says you're giving very much bachelor pad. I think he had a dog or something. She said she could spruce the place up. Cameron said this is like his little starter trap house. He said, you know, he's outgrowing this place. He's ready to get something new. You know, hopefully he could build with somebody else, get something new. He wants to get multiple properties. He said, like, this is his workhouse. He got his office in the back. His money is moving. He got the crypto. He got investments. You know, he's really into building right now and just grinding. He's on that sprint because he knows later on he wants to enjoy life and relax. I'm not mad at Cameron, y'all. I'm not mad at him. I mean, if y'all want y'all hard-working, ambitious man that's gonna bringing in the money. This man is a pharmacy, which is a very well-paying pharmacist. I'm sorry, he's a pharmacist, which is a very well-paying job. Okay, and he has his own photography business. I cannot talk today. And he's trying to grow his team. So that means the business is doing well enough that he can pay the people something. And then it's not just him going around taking pictures. He's doing very, very well for himself, okay? He's doing very well for himself. So y'all can't say y'all don't want somebody not doing well for themselves. Let the man do well for himself. So anywho, so Zadya and him are, you know, they talking about the process, and he's saying, like, you know, he's trying to see what's happening. So Zadya, they're starting talking about the whole moving thing, because he said, you know, right now he's really settled in New Orleans, and he want to buy multiple properties, and he want to get more properties in New Orleans. He really knows the lay of the land. He don't see himself living in DC. Zadya was like, well, you can't really say that if you haven't been there like that. And he's like, well, right now I got a plan, and I know where my life is headed, and it's not to DC. So she's like, well, yeah, plans can change. He's like, yeah, that's true, but right now he don't see it for DC. So, and you know, Zadya is not trying to move down to New Orleans. So then Zadya is like, okay, are you open to a long distance relationship? So he said, yeah, he's not ideal, but he can be open to it. He feels like, you know, they can work it out, whatever, if it's meant to be. She said that she's not really into that, but she could try. But the way her life is set up right now, she don't know if she got time to be planning whole trips for people or nothing like that. And I was like, girl, do you want this man or not? So anywho, I was like, let me just move on down to New Orleans. But Cameron, we don't need to cut that hair, but we could work with it. Anywho, so then he was like, but you know, if it's worth, you know, making the time and all that. And so she was like, you know, are you gonna make the time for me? Like, am I worth it? Are we gonna do this? Basically, she started kind of putting the pressure on, but she did say, like, you know, we're in this process and it's winding down and it's time to make decisions. So when I rewatched it, I understood why because first I feel like she was putting a lot of pressure on him and just doing a little bit much in the scene. And that's why he came to the house to double check, like, hey, I ain't got the time for you. But then when I rewatched it, y'all, I was like, oh, okay. I think she said it because they only got like 3 weeks left. And Tamika wants them to start like locking it down now. So I think that's why she was bringing up the conversation and kind of pressing the issue. But I don't know. I don't like the way Zadya asks her questions. Something about it is very, I don't want to say the word combative because, you know, we got in trouble with that. We're Ready to Love Dallas. But I don't know, she's just very, like, I don't know, she don't flow the questions right, in my opinion. I can't put my finger on the word I want to use. All I can say is combative. And if it's wrong word, forgive me. I'm not trying to put a label on the black woman because we didn't went through that with the maths people. But, yeah, something about Zadya. Yeah, well, we already know how Zadya was from DC. Anywho, so he was like, we'll see. Like, we trying to grow. We trying to get to know each other. So we going to see, what happens. And Zadya at her confession was like, I'm trying to get in with Cameron. I'm trying to, push, figure it out. But he just keeps pushing me out. And I don't feel like he's pushing her out. I think he just wants to take his time. He talking about he busy and stuff. And I was like, oh, Lord, this is going to be the beginning of the end for them, y'all. So, anywho, then we see Sherese go on a date with Nick. So that's who the blind date is with. I believe he's like 36 years old. We got nothing out of that conversation except for Sherese is very much attracted to him. So he was there the first day when Tamika brought all the men's out and they were locking eyes, but she didn't pick him. I thought they picked that day. So I'm like, Sherese, why you just didn't pick him in the first place? But she said, they both remembered looking at each other in their eyes and all that. And so she was glad that it was him. And so I was wondering when we see some of those previous men, because that was a lot of men. And I'm wondering, are all the men we've seen this far, were they there that first day? I'm thinking that they probably all were there, really. So he works out, he be lifting weights, he cooks. She can't imagine him cooking. She does Pilates. He said he want to do Pilates with her one day. She said that she want to see him in an apron and nothing else. She want to see what that six-pack do. I said, me too, girl. But Sherese, you there to be getting to know the man. And Sherese be wanting somebody to communicate. But girl, you don't be talking about nothing on your dates. Absolutely nothing. So girl, Maurice is silent because you silent. But anywho, she definitely had chemistry with him. She said it was just nice to like finally be on a date with someone she was really attracted to and have chemistry with. So even though Sherese wasn't doing nothing or about nothing on that date, I did enjoy seeing her having a good time on the date. Like, this is the first day I saw her have fun and be flirty and feminine and sexy and all that. Not that Sherese wasn't feminine, but this is the first time I saw her like really hang loose, okay? And with Mizell, she kind of hung loose too. So when they was at the Zadya's party. So anywho, then I believe we see Verneesha go down to Tabari's house. And Tabarii cooked for her. Tabarii said he usually don't let too many people at his house because that's his like peaceful place. I totally get it, Tabarii. And so he gave her the tour and he gave her some long stem roses because she said that she liked long stem roses and he remembered. So that's good points for him. So they sat down and talked. So Verneesha started talking about, the process and how would they make things work with as far as like he lives in New Orleans and he goes to Mississippi a lot. She said for his baby. Now I'm hoping she was using the term baby loosely and not like it's a baby, more like her just his kid, and she was just calling it his baby because he too old to be having a baby. So she was like, she said in her confessional that she was open to coming down to New Orleans to move, but she ain't trying to go down to Mississippi. I was like, girl, you wasn't moving to New Orleans. So she was asking, how's that going to work? Because I'm in Houston, you going down to Mississippi, like what we going to do? So he said, well, hopefully, we'll continue to grow, get to know each other and get on the same page. He feels like time is what will help if they can get on the same clock, get on the same schedule. It could work out. Possibly, they could make it work. I do feel like Verneesha and Tabarii could work. I feel like they would be a good match, better than her and Jabari. I think they also did bring up long distance, and Verneesha says she's not really interested in long distance. And so he said he's glad, he was happy that she came over. She enjoyed her in his house. And it was nice to see him have a serious conversation because I know that's been her big complaint about him not being serious enough. So I could actually see them working too. I don't know. But I didn't know how old is this baby. Anywho. Then I believe Tamika comes and talks to the girls. Oh, let me backtrack. So I missed two scenes. So in the confessional after, oh no, I didn't miss the scene. Or did I miss the scene? I don't know. Anywho, at one point the girls was in the kitchen cooking breakfast And Sherese was making bacon. She's like, oh, it's fat on the ends of this bacon. I got to cut this off. And I was like, who not eating the fat on the bacon? Like, when you eat a piece of bacon, y'all be taking the fat off? Let me know in the comments if y'all don't eat y'all bacon fat when y'all eat a piece of bacon. Because I'm not about to go through the trouble of taking bacon fat off my bacon if I'm already eating it. But, you know, them girls trying to keep it right and tight, so I ain't mad at them. Anywho, so Cameron came over, right? And he was like, Zadya, girl, let me talk to you. So he was like, you know, I know we in this process. You know, I had all these plans for my life, and I had all these things going on, and I didn't expect to meet you, but then I met you. And he was like, I just want to let you know that I'm like, the way my life is set up right now, I am very, very busy, and I got a lot of things going on, and I'm trying to make the time for you, but, you know, it's just going to take me some time. Like, the process is moving really, really fast. It's like a whirlwind for me, and I just need to kind of slow it down. And in order to really, you know, balance everything out that I got going on. And I know you're going on these blind dates, and if there's somebody there who is willing to jump into things with you right away, then, you know, I don't want to stop you from doing that with that person. So I was like, ooh, child. So then she was like, okay. And so she was like, what is he even saying right now? And so he was like, I don't know if you want to, you know, hang on to me, or you want to, like, you know, look elsewhere. And I was like, hang on to you? What? And so she was like, okay, well, I think she asked him, do you want me to move on to someone else? Somehow she worded that question. So then he said, no, he wants to still, you know, continue to work things out with her. He just wanted to, like, basically be honest and lay it out on the table for her and let her decide. And so then she was like, well, she totally understands. Like, she's went through phases like that where she's trying to do a bunch of things and date somebody at the same time. So she gets it, and that's life. It gets busy. And she's like, I don't know what you want me to say, you know, in this moment. I don't know what he wanted her to say either. What I think it is that Cameron likes Zadya, and maybe he does still want to date her, but he doesn't want to, okay, let me lock it in so you could decide to move to New Orleans right now, which is why the show is so damn unrealistic, but it's entertainment, so we'll go with it, right? He ain't ready for Zadya to make a move, but he want to keep dating her and go and getting to know her is what it is, okay? And I'm actually not mad at that. I mean, on the surface, it did look like, damn, Cameron, everybody's busy. Everybody's trying to figure out work-life balance. You're not the only one. You will make time for what you want to make time for. But it wasn't so bad what he said. I think what he's trying to say is basically like, I ain't trying to lock it down with you right now, but I am still trying to get to know you. But he don't want the pressure, okay, is what he don't want the pressure. But I feel like, Cameron, you also got to put the effort. Like, if you really want to make it work, you will make it work. So anywho, and you will figure out the balance, right? So then I think after that, then Tamika, sometime later on, child. Oh, the girls was talking to confession about, you know, men not knowing how to communicate. Ashlee's like, where do I start? They were like, they would just be honest. They would get what they want, but they instead, they want to tell women what they want to hear. And I just thought it was funny that they played that confessional scene right after Cameron came to the house. So anywho, later on, we see Tamika come talk to the girls. She asked them what's going on for the week. Ashlee talks about the whole thing with Donald being married before. Sherese talks about her date with Nick, and she was smiling. Sherese and Tamika was happy for her. Verneesha talks about Tabarii, and then Zadya talks about Cameron. He came down to the house and all that. So then we're gonna have a mixer. So Willie, the guy that Sherese and Zadya went on the blind dates with, the double dates last week, is coming to the house, as well as Nick, for Sherese to decide who to keep and move on with, and then the other ladies having their keepers to decide if they want to keep them or move on or not. Okay, so all the men come to the house. Donald comes. Ashlee is like, you know, he's like, what are you doing right now? She's like, you know, just really going through a lot right now. You know how she always going through it. And so she was like, the marriage thing did surprise her, but she's keeping him. And he's like, dang, girl, you have me sweating. And they kissed, and she was like, oh my gosh, it was our first kiss. I don't be kissing everybody. So the fact that I kissed him meant a lot, but I just wish it lasted longer, because she said it was like being in the 6th grade, kissing your boyfriend and running off to class. And I was like, who having boyfriends in the 6th grade? Y'all little fast kids. Then, let's see, we see Tabarii and Verneesha. Verneesha's concerned about their schedules mashing up, but ultimately she keeps Tabarii. We know she's keeping Tabarii. Zadya and Cameron talk, and they talk about the whole her and being busy and all that, but she keep Cameron too. Come on now, we know they were keeping him. These ladies are not about to start all over now. The only ones that's got to start over is Sherese, because they keep giving her horrible matches. Okay, so anywho, the only guy I think that she should have considered was that music producer guy. And I can't think of his name. So anywho, so Willie comes. He brings a gift. Did he say it was heels and some kind of plant or something? I don't know. He brings a gift. And Nick said, that's his competition, but he ain't worried about it. And they're toasting. Willie was like, toasted the queen, kings, and queens. Somebody on Twitter said he was giving Grand Rising. He kind of was. He's a nice guy, though. He's a really nice guy. And so him and Sherese were talking, and then him and Nick and Sherese were talking at one point. And so Sherese is like, girl, let me get my girls to help me make this decision. So she talked to Verneesha and Zadya, and Zadya's like, okay, well, you keep saying you want conversation. Who's best conversation? Verneesha's like, Willie. But Sherese has better conversations with Willie, and he's more communication, and he's a really nice, sweet guy. However, she's more physically attracted to Nick and has more chemistry with him. So that's her dilemma. So she talks to Willie, and she's like, you are patient, you are smart, you are kind, you are important, you are intelligent. And she's like, you're a really nice guy, but ultimately I'm going to move in another direction. And he took it very well, and he wished her the best. I was like, he's so nice. He's a very nice guy. I don't think they were a match, though, so I'm not mad that she didn't pick him. And then she did pick Nick, and she said she wants more communication from him. She wants to know that he's really there for her. Now, I don't know if he's really there for her, but I think that I wouldn't mind her having a little fun and still keeping her options open, and seeing where it could go with Nick. It could work out. He could be serious. I don't know, but I wouldn't mind her going with Nick, only because I didn't feel like Sherese and Willie were going to be such a good match. Willie was talking about, she has a good soul. She's this and that. Now, I don't know what these people seeing or talking about, but we ain't seen all that in Sherese, but he really just was so admired, really admired Sherese. So, maybe it could have worked. I don't know. I just don't see Willie and Sherese's values lining up, in my opinion. So that's why I was okay with her moving on from him and picking Nick. It just made a little bit more sense in my opinion. But y'all let me know who y'all thought Sherese should have picked, Willie or Nick. Let me know in the comments, y'all. And then I think that was pretty much the end of the mixer. Tamika lets the girls know, okay, like moving forward. Well, Ashlee told us that the confessional women got 3 weeks to go. So I'm hoping that means like 3 more episodes and then the reunion. Anywho, then Tamika was like, winding down. It's time for you ladies with your keepers to, start making a decision. And then she said this week she's going to switch it up. Now, we're going to be bringing back somebody that you previously went on a date with just to make sure that you're not overlooking something or you're not missing out on something. So they're going to bring back some of the previous people. I'm like, why are we doing that? But whatever, we making TV. So Verneesha's the first date we see. Now, Verneesha's going on a blind date with somebody we've seen previously, right? Now, in the previews last week, when they showed the back of his head and his back was turned to the camera, I said, I know that ain't Mizell's head. And I recognized the tattoos on his arms and his head and his figure. I said, I know that ain't Mizell. I know that ain't Mizell about to go on a date with Verneesha. And sure enough, when he turned around, that was Mizell. And I said, I know you effing lying. I know we not bringing Mizell back. For what? To do what? Even Verneesha was like, ugh, Mizell. Like, she said she don't be spinning the block on people, and neither do I. And I'm like, ugh. I thought I did spin the block on my ex. Lesson learned. Anywho, so Verneesha sat down with Mizell, and they're basically talking about whatever, all the stuff that happened. And he was saying, like, he didn't have no ill intention. He wasn't trying to lie, and he wasn't trying to do all this. And I was like, Mizell, really? You could go back to the hole you crawled out of, okay? Because you still up here lying. One minute you talking about you didn't know how the process was, but here in this scene, you said, I thought nobody was a keeper until they made a decision anyway. And me and Sherese weren't even communicating outside of our dates. Okay, but at Zadya's birthday party, you and Sherese is all up on each other. So make it make sense. So Verneesha says she didn't like the lack of communication and he should have been more forward and transparent. And so then he talking about, oh yeah, I want to still get to know you. I know you don't have no problem finding a man based on your looks, and I want to vibe with the person who's really giving me the energy. And I'm like, Mizell, this is not about you. And so Verneesha asked him, but do you still have feelings for Sherese? Like, are you still interested in Sherese? And that's where it ended. Let me know what y'all think he gonna say next. I really don't care. Like I said, Mizell could really go back to the hole he crawled out of. We're not checking for him. He looked like something might be a little wrong with him anyway. And I don't mean that in no disrespectful way. But return Mizell to sender, please. Ready to love people. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.